Hello, everyone. My capstone project is titled Multimodal Instruction in Secondary English E&L Classrooms. This project examines how multimodal instructional practices can support English as a new language students in secondary English language arts classrooms while maintaining rigorous standards-based expectations. The curriculum project was developed through a literature review focused on multimodality, literacy instruction, assessment validity, and educational equity. And this project culminates in a 6-week grade 9 literary analysis unit that's designed for Spring Valley High School, which is where I teach. Literacy instruction needs to evolve to meet the needs of increasingly diverse student populations. In many secondary English classrooms, students are expected to demonstrate understanding primarily through written English. However, multilingual learners often possess sophisticated conceptual understanding that might not be fully reflected in their academic writing. And the research suggests that print-based instructional and assessment practices can actually sometimes unintentionally limit these opportunities for participation among E&L students. So as a result, scholars have increasingly explored multimodal literacy as a way to expand access while maintaining academic rigor. This is particularly relevant to Spring Valley High School, where I teach. We have a significant portion of students who engage in E&L programming. The research question guided my literature review and my curriculum design, and the goal was not simply to determine are multimodal activities engaging, but are they able to contribute to meaningful academic growth. And do these students ultimately perceive learning opportunities and assessments as more equitable? So throughout the literature review, I examined how multimodal instruction affects these three outcomes and how these findings can be translated into the curriculum. Multimodality refers to the use of multiple modes of communication to create meaning. So according to one of the major researchers, Jewett, literacy extends beyond written language, and it includes visual, spatial, gestural, and digital forms of communication. Additionally, Hall and Nelson further argue that meaning is often created through the interaction of these modes rather than just print alone. So this theoretical framework challenges the assumption that literacy is exclusively text-based and suggests that classrooms have always been multimodal environments, and these theoretical foundations created the foundation of my project. Three major themes emerged from the literature. So first, researchers challenged the traditional definitions of literacy and argued for the expanded conceptions of meaning making. Second, classrooms-based studies demonstrated how multimodal practices support engagement, language development, analytical thinking. Third, researchers examined assessment validity, and they questioned whether traditional assessments can accurately capture multilingual learners' understanding. So together, these themes shaped the design of the curriculum project. So across the literature, multimodal instruction was consistently found to be associated with increased engagement and overall stronger access to academic content. Early and Marshall found that ENL students demonstrated sophisticated literary interpretations through multimodal responses. Dalton and Grisham showed that technology enhanced vocabulary instruction can actually deepen word knowledge and comprehension. Another article by Kim and her colleagues found that digital storytelling supports identity development and critical thinking. And then there was a recent article by Zhang that concluded multimodal writing can actually support long-term writing growth among multilingual learners. And although that although a lot of the research identified these benefits, they also stress the need for intentional instructional design and standards alignment for multimodal work. So, to translate the research into practice, I designed a 6-week literary analysis unit for grade 9 ENL students at Spring Valley High School. The anchor text is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. It's a graphic novel and it gives really rich opportunities for literary analysis through both the visual and textual elements. So, the unit maintains rigorous standards based expectations, but incorporates multimodal scaffolds that are ultimately designed to support their comprehension, analysis, and their academic writing. And the ultimate goal is going to remain formal literary analysis, writing, and essay. So students are going to begin by analyzing theme through close reading and thematic mapping activities. Then they move into character analysis using visual evidence boards that can connect internal and external conflict to these emerging themes they've identified. And then these multimodal activities are going to require the students to justify themselves with text evidence and written commentary. And then as the unit progresses, these supports are going to gradually shift toward formal analytical writing. So the multimodal tasks are really designed to help these students externalize their analytical thinking and help students organize their ideas before they are asked to translate them into academic writing. So assessment throughout is intentionally aligned with the standards and the research. So throughout the unit, students complete formative assessments such as their annotations, vocabulary activities, their visual evidence boards. And these tasks are going to help me or the teacher monitor progress and provide that targeted support. And then the culminating assessment is the formal literary analysis essay. So this decision reflects findings from Nash and Siegel, who argue that multimodal instruction should prepare students to succeed within the existing accountability systems that we have. So rather than replacing academic writing, um, multimodal scaffolds are going to function as kind of the bridge that can support these students' success on these rigorous written assessments. Based on the literature and the evaluation plan, there are 3 expected outcomes. So first, students will demonstrate increased engagement through higher participation and completion rates. Second, students will show academic growth through stronger literary analysis and improved use of text evidence. And finally, students may perceive learning experiences as more equitable because multimodal scaffolds provide that additional pathway for understanding complex texts. So the project seeks to balance innovation with accountability by maintaining the rigorous standards while providing expanded access to learning. And in conclusion, the literature really suggests that multimodal instruction can strengthen engagement, academic growth, and perceptions of equity when it is aligned with clear goals. So this curriculum demonstrates how multimodal scaffolds can support multilingual learners without lowering academic expectations. So rather than replacing the traditional literary analysis, which they will have to do on something like the Regents exam, multimodal instruction can serve as a pathway toward stronger analytical writing, deeper thinking, deeper literary understanding. And the project provides just one example of how theory and research can ultimately be translated into meaningful classroom practice. Thank you.